Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Got an interesting story out of Business News. That's quite a interesting name. It's a great name actually for a business news website. So it's out of Business News. It's entitled 19 Republican States Accuse JP Morgan of closing bank accounts and discriminating against customers because of their religious or political beliefs. Guys, put down in the comment section if you have heard anything about this. I'm just seeing this and it's very, very interesting. We've just, a few years back, we saw the IRS doing some up to some shenanigans, let's say. And we've seen just recently where Bank of America says, if you're not white, you can sign up for mortgages and we're going to give you smoking deals. There's all kinds of crazy things happening right now. And I got to be honest with you, this is one that sort of takes the cake with me. In the wake of, a couple years back where Wells Fargo was found totally guilty of making fraudulent bank accounts just to be able to say, hey, look at how many people bank with us. And they were just totally made up. This is like the opposite of it. We're gonna close bank accounts. So let's read this story and dive right in. It says right here, Republican attorneys general from 19 states have accused JP Morgan Chase of closing accounts and discriminating against customers because of their political or religious beliefs, a report says. In a letter sent to JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon and reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, Republicans representing 19 states said the bank has frozen the checking accounts of major organizations before reinstating them. Screening questions focused on religion and politics were asked. The Attorney General said JP Morgan abruptly closed the checking account of the National Committee for Religious Freedom, or NCRF, a nonprofit, before a letter informing it of the decision had been delivered. The complaint states that a bank employee eventually told the group that JP Morgan would restore the NCRF's account if it provided a list of its donors, a list of political candidates it wished to support, and description and approval of the criteria used to determine its endorsement. The bank's brazen attempt to position critical services on a customer who passed some obscure religious or political litmus test flies in the face of Chase's anti-discrimination policies. Worse, it flies in the face of basic American values of fairness and equality, said the signatories of the letter. The letter was signed by Daniel Cameron of Kentucky and Steve Marshall of Alabama, and co-signed by their counterparts in the states including Florida, Georgia, and Texas. The Journal reported that in March, the treasurers of 14 Republican states wrote Dimon with similar claims. This is really, really interesting. I mean, to think about how this is sort of picking up in steam and that 14 states have now jumped on board to write Jamie Dimon about this. Let me know down in the comment section if you have experienced this or you know anything about it. I'm very, very interested in this. JP Morgan was also accused of declining an offer to participate in a survey for the Viewpoint Diversity Score Business Index, which, according to its website, recognizes freedom of expression and freedom of religion or belief as a standard part of doing business. Measured a company's respect for, JP Morgan projects a score of 15% for the index in 2022. It says a JP Morgan representative told the Journal, "We do not or will never exit a client relationship because of a client's political or religious affirmation." A JP Morgan spokeswoman said, I guess they got a man and a woman speaking, so they're covering all the bases, right? "We do not close accounts because of religious or political affiliation and did not in these cases." Very interesting to me that this is coming out right now in the wake of the banking collapse. If you think about it, the news is just frothy right now. It's like we're in this eye of the storm, right? We just dealt with First Bank. We're dealing with PacWest. And it's almost like things are calming down. Or is it? By the time this video comes out, it's going to be Monday morning and everything else could be going crazy by then. But to think that a bank could or would or should, right, close your account based off of your political or your religious beliefs, That's really scary. And that's something that I've been preparing for a long time. And that's why I tell people to get out of debt, right? Because it just blows my mind how many people have a large sum of money in the bank, yet they have a mortgage or they have credit card debt or, a car payment. It's almost like they built their savings account for an emergency fund where you're like, hey, the emergency sirens are blaring because you're paying interest. And technically at any point, life can change and they can take your stuff. Even someday, maybe even because of the way you believe. And I think that's why it's so important to have everything set up right in the right proper entities. That's why you talk to your tax professional, your legal professional, but have something set up in like a trust or a corporation of some sort to be able to protect yourself, because you never know. You may say the wrong thing someday or pull out in front of the wrong person, and all of a sudden, your assets are being taken. And it's super, super important that you protect yourself. I really can't wait to see your guys' comments on this, because I think this is very, very interesting to sit there and have all of these, and it's Republican states, 19 Republican states accusing JP Morgan of closing bank accounts and discriminating against people. Very interesting times, guys. This is getting real. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. The Economic Ninja is out.